All right, welcome back to another episode of the STL Real Estate Roundtable podcast. I'm joined by a very special guest today, Krista Hartmann. And she has a killer real estate business that we're going to learn from today. And Krista, I'm just so glad that you're here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm very honored.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell the viewers and the listeners a little bit about yourself and then what got you into a career in real estate.
Yeah, good question. I actually started as an educator. So I taught music for 19 years, and that was in Michigan and Ohio.
Okay.
And then when I was in my at the end of my 18th year, I just knew I needed some kind of a change. You know, you can only do so many grade school musicals before you want to.
Before everything's the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jazz hands, the whole bit. I mean, choreography, jazz square. Okay. If you know, you know. So I knew I wanted a change of some sort. So I thought about doing, maybe high school secondary math. So I did get my license for that, but that just never panned out in that short amount of time. And then I also was able to get my real estate license that summer. Someone encouraged me to do it and said, you're going to do the great job of this. I sold 19 houses my first year before quitting my teaching gig, which was only part-time. Yeah. And then I thought, okay, I can do this. And I haven't looked back, love my past students, but I haven't looked back to the education scene. And then, just working it ever since.
There we go.
So
Awesome.
Started in Ohio for 3 years and then we moved here 10 years ago. So I've been in St. Louis 10 years now.
Okay, so what brought you to St. Louis?
My husband's job. He's a Lutheran educator, and he is the principal at Christ Community Lutheran School in Kirkwood. So that's what brought us here. I wasn't happy. I was not happy. I think if real estate hadn't gone well, I don't know what would be happening right now. I mean, obviously love him and love our life and all of that.
Yeah.
And, our kids are here now, so that's wonderful. Okay. But, I always tease. That was when the song Happy was out by Pharrell Williams.
Oh, my gosh.
So in the mornings, I had to play my happy song and light up my lemon essential oils and try to get through each day because it was hard. It was really hard. We left my parents. We left, my daughter was going to college in Ohio. So she had gone there because it was only an hour and a half. That was one reason. Then now she was 7 hours away. And so, but now we're here. Love my job. Love my team. We love our life here. We have come to love St. Louis. And so, yeah.
Gotcha. So you don't have to answer what high school did you go to?
Yeah.
question.
No, you won't care.
There we go. We're both in that boat.
Yeah, you won't.
All right. So you said 17 deals your first year. Where did those deal? How many?
19. Sorry.
That's on me. That's totally on me. 19 deals. So sorry. 19 deals. Where did those deals come from?
That's a great question.
With
that, I was in a small brokerage at the time. So I did get some leads from them, but really I don't remember that it was a ton. I ended up paying for Trulia at the time, I want to say, and I got some leads that way. My very first deal was one of my cousins, which I will say it's very interesting because my whole career in Ohio, which was 3 or 4 years, I really didn't have that many relatives because I have a lot of relatives in that area. But you would think, half my transaction were relatives. And even now I've had people think that all my business, at the beginning or any times comes from, my husband's job, people that he knows, the teachers and this. And yeah, sure, there has been some business from there. But overall, it's been the grind, to be honest. I am very motivated, very driven person. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it right and I want to do it well.
Yep.
And it's even in life, right? You're at a place, maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's a company, and you're complaining about it every day. That's not me. If I was in that situation, I would do something different. I would go to a different restaurant. I would go to a different, now do I complain sometimes? Okay, if my husband's listening to this, I think he might
he's going to play it back and be like,
right. Yeah. But overall, it's the grind and I'm ready to work and I don't want to be unhappy. I want to make it happy for myself and the people around me.
One of my favorite sayings is how you do anything is how you do everything.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Right. You have success early. right? Due to doing the work.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, I think, is a message that a lot of agents out there need to hear.
Just do the work.
Is that it's not, you're not just going to snap your fingers and business is going to fall from the sky. You got to go find it.
Right.
Right. And what were some of the challenges though early on, or even that you're working through right now with your team and, with the market and all the things, like what were the challenges that you're seeing?
The challenges back then as a brand new agent, I would say, were just mainly the stick with itness. There's a word. Stick to it. Yeah, you all know what I mean, right? Everybody knows what I mean. Okay, so we have to stick with it, and there's a lot of days where nothing is really happening, right? You're doing things, you're door knocking. I mean, I remember door knocking in Ohio in those early days, and nothing would happen. Then all of a sudden, maybe nothing was happening with door knocking, but then all of a sudden something happens in another leg of my business that I was working on. And I do believe that there's something to be said about that. You're making the calls, you're making the calls. Nothing happens from that, but then all of a sudden you get a call from door knocking, or whatever. I'm just saying, it's like, whatever, because action solves everything. That's one of my new favorite sayings. I got a couple of old favorite sayings maybe we'll get to, but one of my new ones is action solves everything.
Right.
So, but anyway, as far as, let me answer the question. I feel like, the presidential debate, vice presidential debate, we're not answering the questions here. I want to answer the question.
At least we're not yelling at each other.
Yeah, right. We're being civil. But what are some challenges right now? So I have a team of 9 agents plus myself, just hired 2 recently. So that, I don't want to say they're a challenge. I think just managing the team is somewhat of a challenge at times, because I got into teams, years ago, and I at first thought, oh, somebody's just going to give me a blueprint and I'm just going to have a team and I'll just follow that blueprint. But that's not how it works. And I've realized now that, I remember people saying, there is no blueprint, or it just, of course they advise, right? The first thing you should do is hire an admin, blah, 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 then hire a buyer's agent, etc. But now that it's to the 10 agents, it's like, okay, what do I need to improve? How do I keep improving that? How do I also train them effectively? So I'm wearing a lot of hats, and I'd say that's a challenge.
Yeah, and probably too is like, how do you help them get what they want?
Right? Well, sure, yeah.
And building a world big enough,
goal, of course.
Building a world big enough to where they would never want to leave, right? Because you train and you try to attract the right people, and once you find the right people, keeping those really high talented people, is very challenging.
Giving them, exactly. Giving them what they need, because different agents need different things. So you have to think about, some just want the leads, some just want the training, some want, different things, It's,
and some probably want to be in your position someday. Right?
Yeah.
And so helping them get to where they want to be faster is huge. Okay. So have there been any big lessons learned over the years? Obviously, You've been doing this, your experience, you've grown, you have this massive business, you're supporting other people's dreams and goals. Like, what have been some of the lessons learned? Like, we talk about a lot of the good stuff, but I think what people really want to hear is like, what were some of like the missteps or the failures or...
Sure. I think here's another favorite saying coming out: everything will work out. Everything will work out. So at the beginning of my career, and I'm sure you and all the agents listening can understand this, is that you're afraid that deal's going to fall apart, or, oh my gosh, this just happened, what am I going to do? And it's like freak out mode. Now I feel like those brokers that I remember when I come to them with, oh my gosh, this just happened. And now I feel like I'm them, just over here being very calm about it. Okay, what can we do? What are the next steps? What are all the different options? And I think one thing that I feel maybe has helped me to be successful is to think outside of the box and make sure I uncover every possible solution to a problem. I think it's easy to think of 1 or 2 solutions and then, can't work it out.
Just pick one.
Can't work it out.
Yeah.
Or go with one and maybe it isn't the best one. Or maybe, you can't just get it done. You have to actually keep delving and diving in and trying to find a solution. So
yeah, absolutely. So you've obviously worked with a lot of clients over the years. who would you say is your ideal client? There might be people watching this that are looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Who are you looking to attract into your world? And even if that's an agent that's watching this, that you feel like you could serve really well, that could fit within your team, like who are you looking for agent-wise and then client-wise?
Yeah, great questions. Let's get to the agent second, because I have a great list of what I look for.
Yeah.
Great list. But as far as the clients, I do enjoy working with people that are 19 up to, older adults, right? And helping, with moving into a assisted living from their house. And that was a very, sensitive and, subject and difficult transition. And a lot of people working to sell parents' houses that have deceased or have moved to assisted living. I actually do really enjoy that. I enjoy working with people that are in the same life age as me, with our kids, with empty nesters that maybe are buying and selling, maybe moving down now and that sort of thing. So I do enjoy that a lot, but I honestly love first-time home buyers as well. And recently I've been working with a lot of investors. I think personally I've closed like going on 20 over the summer. And my team is working with a lot of them right now. Plus our quote unquote normal business as well. So I would say, I feel like one of the successes of building my business is that I never really pigeonholed myself into, I only want to work with this person in this area. Now, some people build wonderful businesses by doing that, and I think good for them, and that's wonderful. That just never was my business, because like moving to St. Louis, I didn't have the luxury of doing that, right? Because I just was trying to get business wherever I could get business. And then I met more people, etc. And I do think meeting people in any circumstances helps your business. So that's that again wasn't an answer, but it was an answer, hopefully.
Yeah,
hopefully
absolutely.
Worthwhile answer, and hopefully some people can relate. But as far as agents,
She's speaking to you.
Yes, thank you. I have 4 things that I look for when I'm interviewing. And that is, I want people that are hungry. I want them to be needing the money from real estate, right? Because if they're not going to want to do the things that we're talking about. I want them to be coachable. That's very important to me. That's one reason that I think I've been very successful. I have had coaches along the way since 2013. I think I got my first coach. And so I've been in the business 14 years, so you can do the math there. I listened to my brokers. I did what they said. So coachable, good with people. And the last one is, I'm going to cheat because all of a sudden I'm saying them out of order, so it's not coming to me. And humble. Also, yeah, humble. We don't want agents that, just come in and be like, oh yeah, I know. And so again, there's that coachability that needs to be there, I think. If it's I know, then, and if you've only been it for a year or two, you probably don't know, because I'm still asking questions,
100%. 100%. So my next question kind of goes with agents that, you're probably in circles and masterminds with other agents that are at your level or at a level where you want to get to. So what do you feel like is a common struggle amongst that group? And maybe it's something that you have solved or haven't solved yet, but what do you notice is kind of a common theme within that group of agents?
Great question. I do have a mastermind that I meet with once a week, and there are agents from all across the country. From the East Coast, we have California, West Coast, Chicago, Georgia, Kentucky, Texas, and St. Louis. And so one thing I notice is that it's very eye-opening and wonderful to hear that they're going through the same struggles, right? So the struggles now, we've definitely talked about all the new rules. What forms were they using? What forms is the state using? Now, that doesn't necessarily help me, right? Because everybody has slightly different forms, but it does just keep the dialogue going. And then also, every one of us seems to struggle with our time, because most of us have a team. And if not, there's a couple that are solo agents in our group, but they are struggling because they're just such high producers, which is kind of why I ended up being a team. Because I, first of all, needed help, and I needed someone to help while I was away on vacation or whatever. And then I got a TC first, of course, back in the day. But then I needed an admin. So yada, 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 have a team, But those people I do think that I meet with each week struggle with time management still. And then bigger picture things like, okay, what do you use for your transaction management? What do you use for CRM? What do you, and then we're talking exactly all the tools,
the leverage.
Right. And exactly. Thank you. Getting your time back. So it's nice to have those people to bounce things off of for sure.
Yeah. So how have you implemented things to get your time back over the years?
Well, I still think that is a struggle of mine, letting go. And if it's not quite done right, that's one of like a nails on a chalkboard for me. I hate for my clients to be like, hey, I got an email from you and, whoever, and saying, one says this, one says, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's, and it's because something was maybe done incorrectly or whatever. Yeah. And I just do not want that to happen. So it is a struggle. It's a real struggle. But how have I done it? I think just one step at a time, to be honest. Like I try to just implement something, see if it works. And if it doesn't, boom, it's gone. And then, don't get in too deep before you know that. Because if you're in too deep, then you're probably not going to rearrange things. And then you're probably just going to be unhappy with that for a while. So I would hopefully that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, being a transplant to St. Louis, how did you grow your database quickly to see success with real estate? And then where does most of your business come from today?
Great question. I wish I had my spreadsheet in front of me, but I would say that I built my business by going to a lot of networking and going to events, to meet more people, to, anything that my husband's school was doing. I would go and just to get to know people more, not necessarily be like, hey, I'm a real estate agent, but just to get to know, build relationships. And also I started BNI right away. I had no idea what BNI was. My coach said, I got my license in October here in 14. My first transaction was in January 15 with a Realtor.com lead. And then I started BNI in February of that year. And like I said, I didn't know, found a couple of chapters, yada, yada. I joined a group. And so I actually just removed myself from the group about 6 months ago and put one of my newer agents in. Okay. And I do miss my friends in there because it did become a family, a little bit of a family. But through that, there's a lot of networking opportunities where you're meeting lots and lots of new people. So, yeah.
That's great. So you've mentioned coaching several times.
Yes.
What's been the best piece of advice, real estate or non-real estate related? Mm-hmm. And I know this is a question that's off the cuff, so I apologize. Yep. But best piece of advice and maybe the most impactful thing that you've learned being in coaching. I think a lot of agents, they think that coaching or education or training is just for the newbies, but you're hearing right here that this is an agent that is at the top of the game and she's still embracing coaching, training, education as if it's her first day, which is incredible and something that I think every agent should learn from and take note of. But what would you say to that question?
Yeah, that is excellent and such a great point. I think, again, it comes back to that being coachable and always learning. Like I tell my agents.
You're modeling it for your agents.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I hope to, and I always try to. It just kind of comes out of me because I'm either watching, listening, or reading something every week to better my business. Yep. And so still, to this day. So, and I find a way to do it, and this might be a little hack for some people, is I do it when I am getting ready in the morning. Now, guys, I don't know how long it takes you to get ready, but while I'm putting on my makeup, yeah, right. So mine over for guys, but I do actually, this is maybe TMI, but I have my phone in the shower to listen to things. I listen to podcasts, listen to my devotion, listen to a book on, Audible, and so on and so forth. And so as far as advice from coaches, I would say I can't at this particular moment think of one specific thing, but I do think it is the accountability
100%.
that is built into coaching, period. And, sometimes I kind of just go with the flow with the coaches, but I told my coach yesterday, this is a true story. I told my coach yesterday, I said, I want to talk about this coming year, like business planning in the coming year with our sessions. I said, I feel like sometimes I sabotage the coaching calls because I'll come in like hot and I'll be like, this is happening right now. What would you do? Oh my gosh. And I always say I'm calm and collected, but I usually am, but not with my coach because that's his job to listen to crazy me,
Yeah.
So I will come in and I'll just be like, and we'll spend the whole time on my little problem. And I'm like, Krista, why did you do that? You have this.
Get anything accomplished.
Right. So I said, I have a list of all the things I want to accomplish in the near future. So I said, so can you write these down? And then I want you to keep me accountable. And I want you to stop me if I start going off on tangents that we don't need to be going off on. Again, accountability.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, we have coaches for anything else in life. Like, why would we think we don't need a coach for our business?
Right.
So that's excellent. Okay, are there any questions that I should have asked that I haven't?
Let me see. I have a cheat sheet here. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Well, let's see. I think we were talking earlier maybe about, what's unique or what's special. And, there's so many good agents out there and so many great teams that I know a lot of teams and agents could do a good job for each client out there, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing I would say with our team is that we are always striving to make ourselves even more unique or striving to create a better experience. And so, again, I don't think that happens overnight. I think it's that we're tweaking things along the way. And my goal is to have all of our agents doing a lot of the same things. I don't want to ever say, we're all going to just do the same for you, right? Because I don't know that would be, that might be pigeonholing each agent into a box that they maybe don't fit into because we're all a little different. However, there always can be a certain packet that we're giving, a certain script that we're giving, and not to be, using scripts on our clients and to just force feed them things, but a script that helps them and assists them in the process. So anyway, just continuing to improve our systems.
Yeah, where the messaging is the same, it's consistent.
Yeah.
As far as creating experiences, have you read the book Superfans by Brittany Hodak?
I have not read the whole thing, but I want to say it's on my list.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in my Audible. I want to say yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. Okay, so this has been a question that's been running in my mind the whole time since you said you were a music teacher. So how many instruments do you play, and what's your favorite one?
Well, I play really two. That would be piano and voice.
Okay.
And voice is my first one. Yeah. Okay. So I sing in church about once a month, Was in a band for like 2 years.
In a band?
Well, yeah, just a little 3-piece. I was just singer. We had a guitar and we had a bass and sometimes keyboard. And so that was super fun. Like, that was a dream come true. It was really, really fun. But right now, I've had some issues with my voice, which is kind of sad over the past couple of years. But it's doing better now. And so at church, it's great. Love it. I enjoy doing it. And yeah.
Awesome. I can't sing to save my life. I failed element. So I tried out in 5th grade. Yes. No. 4th grade.
Choir?
Fourth grade, I tried out for choir. You know how it's like there's 30 kids that make it, and like 3 of them are boys. Like, every boy that tries out gets in.
Yes.
I was the one boy to get cut.
Aww.
The tryout song was "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Not in my range, apparently.
Right.
Then the next year, a teacher makes me go to tryouts. So I'm like, no, I failed last year. I'm not going to go.
Right.
She's like, no, you should go.
Right.
You should go. And she told me to go, made me go. Try out again. I don't make it.
Right.
The next year, it's middle school. New music teacher. I'm like, hey, hopes are alive.
Yeah.
But my pride was, I was knocked down a notch after failing 2 years in a row. And so same thing happened again, though. A teacher made me go to tryouts. I failed again.
Yeah.
3 years in a row. So
that just breaks my heart.
I can't sing.
Well,
I can't sing. But it's all good. I can do other things.
You can do. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has a gift. You have to find your gifts and then use them. That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, if I could sing, my ego would be unmanageable. So
oh boy.
Okay, last question.
Yes.
So most impactful book, I believe readers are leaders.
Yes.
So most impactful book that you've read.
The Miracle Morning.
Love it.
The Miracle Morning. Yes. I just think it's so important to start your day off right. I don't think you need to do all 6 things. This is what I found, okay? So if you haven't read the book, there's 6 things he says that you should do every day to start your morning with. And the beginning of the book is excellent also because it talks about his life, basically almost being killed. And it's just really a motivational type intro, right?
Yeah.
And you get into the 6 things. But what I have found is I tried to do all 6 things every day. And I'm like, the certain things just don't work for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. So I usually try to do now at least 3 things, whether it's one day exercise, reading and journaling, or, meditation, and mix that in, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I would say Miracle Morning is an excellent book to read.
That is great. Have you read The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry?
No, but golly, that probably sounds like it's written for me.
Okay. It is my most highly recommended book, so check that one out too. All right, yeah. Any super fans?
I like to get things done fast, so see, there you go.
Elimination of Hurry. Awesome.
I like it.
Cool. Well, Krista, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Jade.
I know that the viewers and listeners will get a ton of value from it, so just thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to hang out with me for a little bit here.
It was great. Thank you.
We'll see you on the next episode.